I'm John Bernard.
I'm Nick.
And we're Bulldogs.
I'm Jacob and I'm a Bulldog.
I'm Hectic Fred and I'm proud to be a Bulldog.
I'm Josh from Sportshed and I'm a Bulldog.
I'm Emilio and I'm proud to be a Bulldog.
We're the touchline and we're proud to be a Bulldog.
The Bulldogs' resurgence is more than a mere comeback. It's a tale of redemption and fortitude. Their journey embodies the essence of never giving up, of fighting against the odds, and of proving the doubters wrong.
Best has a second try. In a moment, it'll be 30 points to nil.
The team's unity and resilience have transformed them into a force to be reckoned with, a symbol of perseverance and dedication. As they step back into the finals arena, the Bulldogs carry with them the hopes and dreams of their loyal fans.
The culture within the place, the winning sort of ethos isn't there, the desire to work hard.
Ready to face any challenge, ready to conquer any obstacle, and ready to etch their names in the history books as champions once more.
What made us start supporting the Bulldogs? We were born in Belmore.
Born and bred in Belmore, so it makes sense for us to go for the team in Belmore.
And my dad's a Bulldogs fan. His dad was a Bulldogs fan. It tells us all the time. He used to come to Belmore, watch the games, jump the fence to get in. It's in our blood.
And it's the best club in the NRL.
It is the best club, best fans, best players.
I support the Bulldogs because growing up, who else was there to support? Dad's side, absolutely love them. Mum's side, they support the Eels. You have to have that rivalry. So, Doggies fan till I die. Always going to games. Been there since day one. You got me 2 years old wearing a Bulldogs jersey. Who else could it be? It's in my blood.
My whole family actually goes for Souths, apart from my mum, she goes for the Roosters. So when I was born, they weren't in the competition, and eventually, once I found Hazem or Mazza in the Bulldogs, I was hooked. And I've started going for them ever since I started watching football, which would have been 2003, and now it's been a roller coaster since then.
I think everyone says you're born into it, your family, which is true for me, but I feel like I would not support any other club. If I had the choice, it would be the Bulldogs, family club, no other club like them. I love them.
So I grew up in a family with mostly Parramatta supporters. Growing up, starting to watch footy, it was always the Bulldogs that stood out to me. I always thought Parramatta were disgraceful and I could never picture myself following them.
All right, what made me support the Bulldogs? Being an area boy my whole life, born and bred in Bankstown Hospital, lived in Bankstown my whole life, so naturally you're going to be a Bulldogs fan. And I just love the team to death. I love their never die attitude, the Dogs of War. I love everything they stand for, and that's why I support the Bulldogs.
I was 8 years old in 2004 when they won the grand final. I was there when Hazem did the double movement, scored the try. I remember celebrating in Belmore after. So my favourite game as an 8-year-old is still the 2004 grand final.
My favourite game is the game before that, the prelim final against Penrith. It was the first vivid memory I have as a Bulldogs fan, celebrating after the game, so easily the prelim against Penrith, 04.
My favourite game that I've ever went to would have to be when we absolutely demolished the worst team in the world, the Eels, 34-4 back in 2022. What a game. Averillo with that absolute insane intercept, nothing better than that.
Completely, Campbell Gillard pouring through a hole, intercepted though by Averillo. There's nobody in front of him. 30 to go, Moses is chasing, Averillo will plant it down.
The best Bulldogs game I've ever been to would have to be the 2012 semi-final against the Rabbitohs. Making my whole family lose as well as winning and going to the grand final was just the best feeling in the world, and doing it the way that we did, we put a big scoreline on them, was a lot of fun, and I'll never ever forget that game.
It'd be the Cowboys game in 2023 where Matt Burton slopped the field goal from the sideline in the dying seconds. I remember interviewing Terry Lamb post-game and saying, how does he do it? And he just said, that's why we signed him. And I just feel like since that moment, Burton's just been clutch, and Terry Lamb was right.
Comes back to Burton from out wide. He strikes it. He likes it. And the Bulldogs.
I wish I could be like Anthony and say like 2002 and all that, but I wasn't around. So it would have to be 2022. 2022 is the year I started properly going to many games, and it would have to be the game against Parramatta on the King's birthday clash, where we beat them 34-4. That's a game I will never forget, because like everything was against us. We were last on the table, and to come out there and win by 30, it was unexpected by many, but I called it, and it was a beautiful feeling.
My favourite game that I've probably been to was back in 2012, the preliminary final, Dogs versus Rabbitohs. And why it's so special to me, just because it's the first time as a Bulldogs fan going to a final series and just enjoying that moment with the fans, especially with the prime Doggies team. And Ben Barber during that year was incredible, and that's probably why I say that's the best game I've been to.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh my gosh! Oh, boys, man! Far out! That's the weakest side! Oh no! Oh my gosh, bro! I'm gonna cry, bro! I'm gonna cry, bro! Boys, wake up!
I mean, you're always still supporting, but you're just turning off the games a lot earlier. It was definitely tough going through a couple of dud coaches, Trent Barrett, Dean Pay. I think there's more in there, but you know, it was a tough time. Still getting to some games, but definitely it's been tough the last 5 years.
You know, it's just standing by your team, like as difficult as it is, you know they're going to pass. Like, look where we are now, you know, we're striving, but it was tough. It definitely was tough. It was hard to cope, you know, always getting bullied at school for going to Bulldogs, but you know, look at me now, and where are the rest of the Rabbitohs, the Eels? Look, you're down there, you know, it works.
I think the thing that kept me going during the rough periods was I was going to the game a lot. I was meeting a lot of new people, and we sort of all, you know, we all went through it together. Made it a lot easier. It's always better to do something with people than alone, so that definitely helped. And I guess during that period, I started creating content, and that just made everything, you know, a lot easier for me. And now that it's going good, but all of that losing has made it so much more enjoyable to be on the top.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy. A lot of other mates who supported the Roosters, Melbourne, Parramatta especially, giving it to us, but I feel like our fan base is stuck strong, and the difference between us and any other club, we're always proud to be a Bulldog no matter what the result was.
Obviously, because we put so much into this team, we're so passionate about this team, it's devastating, it's hard to cope with, but for me, I had to work on not taking it to heart, like, and seeing it as a sport. It's something I struggled with a lot, because like after every loss, I was like, I'd actually like get cut, like I wouldn't want to speak to anyone, and it doesn't have to be that way. And yeah, that's how I coped with it.
Yeah, seeing the Bulldogs lose, you know, week in, week out, it was tough. I remember watching the Manly game, the 66-0 one. We also lost that match, and all my family were like, "Why are you watching it? Turn it off." But it's in me. I can't not finish a game. I need to watch the full 80 minutes, and it was tough, you know, watching us lose. But again, it's made these times sweeter. We're enjoying our time now. We're smashing it, and yeah, the Bulldogs are back. So yeah, those tough times were bad, but you know, it's made it better.
We want a refund! We want a refund! We want a refund!
Look, Newcastle sucks, so it hurts even more when you lose 66-0 to Newcastle.
Definitely.
I didn't think we were going to make the finals again after that, at least for another 5 years. I thought Phil Good's 5 to 10 year plan was still going to take a lot of time. But hey, we're back in the finals this year, so who cares?
Yeah, the 5-year plan, really, if you take away COVID, it becomes a 7-year plan. And it's actually worked when you think about it. Everyone, you have to lose those 2 years. So the 5-year plan's worked. I back Phil Good to the hills. And that 66-0, yeah, it was a gut punch. But there's been other clubs that have copped a bashing. You know what I mean? Look,
the last 4 years, so many clubs have lost by 50, 60, so who cares?
I'd rather be a Bulldogs fan than a West Tigers fan. That's all I'm saying.
You know, like seeing us lose that badly, being there in the moment, you know, all the fans booing at halftime, like you just thought it was over. You thought, you know, like what's really going to happen, what's next? But you see, like, you know, there's always time to rise. There's always time to go back to where the Bulldogs were meant to be, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, look, if you told me that we're going to make the finals the next year after we lost 66-0, I would have said, you're dreaming. But what do you know, we are here in the finals. I would have never seen it coming, and to think we're the best defense in the comp right now with 2 rounds left after that 66-0 battering, we're on cloud 9 right now. It just feels too good to be true.
Definitely a 66-0 loss is not a great feeling, but end of the day, it's one game, and I feel like as a supporter, if we didn't back our team to make finals next season, we're not true supporters, and I feel like that was just a one-off game, and look where we are now.
I think if you ask me in the moment, I would say, yeah, like there's no hope, this team's done. But I always had some sort of trust in the system, so rather like placed that year. I mean, throughout the year, I was like, yeah, you know what, we're gone. But I trusted the system.
You know, backtracking to that day, that was a terrible day for any Doggies fan. 66-0 wasn't easy. In the moment, you could say that, you know, Doggies will never return to finals footy. But did I personally think that? Look, I always thought 2024 is our year, and it is going to be our year, and we're going to win it this year. So in that moment, as terrible as I was, yes, you could. I did think we weren't going to make finals footy because that was the lowest of the lows. But look, after that day, the next 2 days, the next week, I'm like, nah, that's it. The Bulldogs were going to win in 2024, and no matter what, if we lost 74-0, nothing mattered because the following year the Bulldogs were going to win.
What a disgrace! Fucking disgrace! Disgrace to this club! Disgrace! Let's go! Everyone!
I'd say round 2 against the Gold Coast at Belmore, when we absolutely smashed them. I thought, like, you know, where's this been this whole time? And for us to beat a good team, Des Hasler had a bit of, you know, a grudge match there as well. For us to beat them like that, I thought could have a good season.
I think our grinding wins, the field goal win against the Warriors, not that they're quality opposition this year, but and even just our wins against the Dragons at Wynn Stadium, I think going into the finals, like we're a real threat. You know, you win the first game in the finals, then you go on to, you know, maybe face Cronulla in a semi. We're in a prelim final. We're not far off winning the comp. The maths lines up. The stars are aligning for the Bulldogs, and I think we're a real threat after those grinding victories.
The game for me that really made me believe that finals, like we're really up there with the title contenders, would have to be when we were 26-0 up against the Roosters, like debuting the Heritage jersey. You know, like it really showed that, you know, Bulldogs are here. Like we're back in 2004 and we're ready to go again. Even though we nearly lost, it was worth it. We won.
Yeah, look, there's a few games that come to mind. I think the Roosters game I think it was around 4 or 5, that one got me feeling a little bit optimistic, but the one where I realised that, all right, we're the real deal, we actually might play finals football, was when we beat the Raiders. As someone who was here in 2016 when we blew a 14-point lead with like 5 minutes left to go, you know that, and we really haven't beat them much since then. I've always been scared and wary of the Raiders, but to get one over them at Belmore was just the best feeling in the world, and that's when I realised, okay, it's probably going to happen now.
We started off the season with 2 losses and did not look good. So the third round at Belmore against the Gold Coast Titans, 30-something nil, I think 32-0. That was the change, and I feel like the Doggies were on this season.
There was moments where I thought we're back, and then there was also moments after that where I thought, okay, we're not quite there yet. I think it was back-to-back weeks where we beat Newcastle without Burton, Crichton, Kikau, Adokar got injured in the 38th minute. We beat them 32-2. That's a game where I thought, okay, we're the real deal here. And the week after, we go out to beat Parramatta with everything against us, like 2 players out on a stretcher, one HIA, a sin bin, about 11-3 penalty counting to go out and win there. It was those back-to-back weeks where I was like, okay, the Dogs are back.
Now, do they go early? They will. But twice in, one way, off the post. He's done it again. He's done it again. Every punt.
Definitely the key player has been Matt Burton. His kicking game has been phenomenal, and I think he's put the team on his back. Stephen Crichton, very close second, but for me it's Matt Burton. He's a future captain of the club, and I think he's probably the best player in the team.
I've become a flat earther because of Matt Burton, and yeah, I think he's been critical. I think he should have got played Origin this year. Matt Burton's been the star, and second is, like you said, Stephen Crichton leading from the front, but I would say signings like Connor Tracy, so underrated, someone that we needed to plug in at fullback, and he's owned the position. I really rate Connor Tracy as being one of the big signings for us, and kind of why we're playing finals footy.
Would have to be Matt Burton, like different level this year, even though the goal kicking needs a little bit of work, but other than that, like absolutely class player. Should have picked for Origin, should have been the number 6. You know, even though we won the series, still should have been there. Matt Burton, 100%. Crichton, definitely, like captain of the year, but nothing go past Burton, and he's definitely going to be a future captain leader the rest of the time.
So there's obviously a few players that have done really well. Critter, I really love Josh Cohen, but the key for me, the guy that makes it all work is Matt Burton. We have a really undersized forward pack compared to a lot of other teams, and whenever we have trouble coming out of our own end, he's the guy that saves the day, and his kicking game has been absolutely pivotal to the way that we play. It makes it so hard to verse, because no matter how good the other team's defense does, as long as we complete our set, their set starting from the 10 or 20 metre line. So absolutely love him. He's leading the league in 40-20s as well, so his impact is that's just his kicking game, let alone everything else he does for the team. I think he's been the key to victory.
Unexpected, Jacob Carraz. Every club needs a winger who is going to make the hard yards, the offloads, leading the competition. It's unbelievable. In my opinion, not doing it solo, but what he does in the field, probably top 3 wingers could not do what he's doing, and I think he's pivotal to the Bulldogs' success.
Turpin for Haywood. Floater. Carraz over. Lasomersault put down 44-12, and Burton from touch.
You can't not mention Matt Burton. I'm going to go through the whole team list, so you can't not mention Matt Burton, but I think you have to mention Stephen Crichton. I'm surprised no one has. The leadership he's brought to the club, the experience, he's coming from a winning culture, and he's clearly brought that to the younger guys in the team. As a 23-year-old to come in, three comps in a row, to do what he has done, everyone doubted him, oh, he's too young to be a leader, and it's just amazing. I think he's had a massive impact on our club.
My player will be for 2024 will be Stephen Crichton. His work ethic, bringing the work culture from Penrith to Canterbury Bulldogs, just helping the young talent to help them out to succeed in that, and plus his faith as well. You don't see that in the club as much. That's what captured me about Stephen Crichton bringing into the club, his work ethic and his faith.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yes, we will, boys. Yes, we will.
What a question. Of course they will.
Put your house on it.
Will the Bulldogs be premiers in 2024? Simple answer, yes. I don't got $1,000 on it for nothing, so without a doubt. The question is, will the prophecy be fulfilled?